Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Cocking.
He is Captain Foley.
And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite kind of side ships in Star Trek, the
Ooh.
Raven class. Why are we talking about the Raven class though, Sam?
Well, in 1997, it appeared, whatever year it appeared, and then it's back. Yeah, it was in the trailer, so of course the twist factor does feel significantly lower, and it wasn't used too much more than the trailer, but it is the set, location, and story point for the third act, and we get a full exterior, full bridge. I mean, using the cannon, Might Man, good job. It's this giant graveyard. What do you think? And how did you react when you saw it?
Well, I already knew it was coming from the trailer, which I was super, kind of excited about. Thought it was great to see it. I really do like the ship design as a whole. And some people are very confused about it, though. On my first reaction, some people are like, I thought it was the size of a runabout. And it's like, no, it's a much larger ship than that. It's like kind of like the RV for Star Trek. Big RV you take around the country. Lots of room, but not too big of a ship. Just kind of a good-sized ship. And the reason it's important is because it was in Voyager. Annika Hansen's parents were using this one to track and study the Borg.
Yeah, it's much bigger. You can kind of tell the three windows are nothing to do with the bridge, though, so it's not very helpful. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of, oh god, 2/3 Equinox size. 2/3 defined. I think it's a real ship size, but of course, if you're a Federation civilian citizen, not Starfleet, it's not a Starfleet ship, it's a Federation ship. So they bought it, they got it, etc. So for a civilian, it's quite a big ship versus a shuttle or whatever. So it's kind of a sexy freighter, as it were, with better engines and such. And in fact, Rick Sternbach designed some giant cargo bay doors on the bottom, so the thing has just a lot of space and storage. But yeah, no, I also went like, way, when I saw it in the graveyard, because you kind of know it's going to be important. And it's just such a nice bit of Trek canon. It was used twice. They designed the wreckage for one episode, and the interior, which they destroyed. Then they properly designed the exterior for the full episode, and then rebuilt the interior. So it was a funny old. So it was only designed as a wreckage first, which is kind of a shape, but it was really wreckage. So, which is a great sketch from Rick. But yeah, here's it in full flight. I mean, that's the Raven.
No, it looks good. Missing some hull panels and stuff, of course. Here, the windows aren't broken, but in the interior scenes, the windows are broken, and so much so that when they're flying, their hair is waving in the wind.
Well, actually, you say that, but I
think
believe
that area right above the window is what we're talking about then.
Yeah, because the windows are a mess hall, but I assume that giant hole above it is where the bridge is, the dome, which makes sense. I would put where you put the bridge. So that's the hole, because that makes sense. You'd have to put the hole in the exterior if you were clever. God, that's a big old mess hall, isn't it? Those front three, because that's sort of cool. I mean, that makes sense. Have a nice chill. You go down one deck, giant mess hall.
And that's a really great shot of the ship too. I love that angle. That just makes the ship look really cool. So I do like the design.
It is a box with nacelles, but it's a really good balance of streamline and efficient and boxy box. Somehow.
Indeed.
And yeah, you can tell already it's a great 3D model. Because what's nice is that obviously anything in the 90s, there's only so much detail. For an animated show, matching the simple boxy detail of the 90s works really well, as we found in many ships. So this is a perfect thing just to recreate one-to-one and it look great and not think, oh, it's too low detail. Often texturing is what gives you the extra boost. Here's some other two views. You rarely see the back, as in like two shots and it's zipping by in standard def. But yes, there's lots of grilly things at the back. There's lovely warp coils, big old impulse engines, looking very faithful.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they got it flying, considering how long it was in the junkyard, because they used to play in it as kids. Mm-hmm. There are panels missing and stuff, but and I love that the grills aren't all lit up, like they're kind of scattered. I think that's kind of cool. So anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that it's any flyable is great. Well, it'd be nice to have a bit more of a vibe of Tendy just does a thing and it turns on. It would be nice if she's like, quick, Mariner, do this. Talin, do this. Like, they all science it together for like an hour. Otherwise, it was just waiting to be turned on. Not to say that Tendy and sister never used to fly it when they were young. She doesn't say, I learned about engineering new. She was like, I learned how to do it fully. doesn't mean she didn't know how to do it originally in some small way.
Yeah, I got the sense that this was the first time it had flown, though, because she says I can redirect it.
I did too, but it's clearly very, very working.
Yeah.
I mean, it does break instantly, but warp cores are on, petards are on, impulses are on, blinkies are on. It ain't that broken. Except the giant hole in the window. But, of course, let's do some comparisons. What Trekyards can do. Here is the real Raven, and here is the animated Raven. Wabam. There you go.
And as you can see, very similar. Even the pennant on the side, there's one on the one from the junkyard as well, but all the middle parts that have the registry number and the name SS Raven are gone. Just replaced with nothing.
Didn't want to name it.
Yeah, exactly.
You would think they'd give a chance, like name a ship the Obina for one of their team. Like, name it after one of your guys. You could sort of maybe read it. And of course, it's nowadays versus even 5 years ago, with Eagle Moss having done magazines for almost all the ships, their orthographics exist. It's very, very easy to make a good replica that's proportionately correct, the details are correct. It isn't a hard thing anymore. And you can buy the real one, as in the real Eagle Moss model, and look at it. So the fact they got it very close is not necessarily an achievement. It is very easy now. It's not exactly a high detail ship. But it's the fact that they bothered to do so. Because you could have stopped way earlier than you need to. Because it's not perfect. I mean, it's very good.
It's damn good, yeah. Absolutely.
As they often do, they just don't replicate the text string vibe. It's what we saw in Voyager. The geometry they replicate, but they just do their own text string, which obviously changes the vibe a bit. I prefer still the one from Voyager. It's, of course, a TV model versus an animated TV model. It's going to be a nicer model either way, right? But very, very comparable. And really close.
Yeah. Even the back shot there is almost identical. Different parts on the rear of the nacelles, but
oh yeah,
we don't know how long the Raven was in the Raven class was in service, and I'm sure because it's more civilian that there were modifications made to some that weren't made to other ones. And
oh yeah. I mean, the fact is, this thing can be different. There's no issue, right? But there's one in canon to compare to. That's what we're going to do, right? Like, it can do whatever it wants, but the fact is how close they get. And actually, now I'm doing this, the engines are very different. They're way more curved in Voyager. There's missing blinkies, the impulse engines are a little bit different how much they cover. The back grilling is entirely different. In fact, the back's entirely different verbatim. I mean, stylistically feels the same, but it is very different, actually.
Yeah. This could be a newer version of the class that came out later, or it could be one that was modified. So I don't have an issue with that.
I get neither do I. I'm just saying they didn't make a fully faithful replica, which is fine. But we're the ones that can find the difference. But how good does the original one look? Even 20 years later, really good design. I did actually brighten the impulse engines just to kind of see them because on the show model they were very dark. Bridge, not something that people are going to recognise as much, of course, but again, effort put in, and again, they could do anything for the bridge, right? Bridge is easier to redress than exteriors in a lot of ways. What did you think when you saw the bridge? How close did you remember it being?
I didn't remember much of it from it, honestly. I don't remember. I remember a few scenes here and there with Annika, kind of watching her parents, but I don't really remember the layout of the bridge. So, yeah, I don't know how well it compares, honestly.
And do you know why you don't remember very much?
You didn't see it very much.
Well, yes. There's no wide shots. There's only close-ups of the bridge. And like a medium with Annika. I don't know if they just have no confidence in the set. It's an okay set. But there's no look, it's the Phoenix, the Raven set. So yeah, it's really hard to get your geography on the set. But I knew more what it looked like because I've researched it previously. And I knew instantly they hit the notes. The basic design cues. Of course, the L cars are just bigger and bolder, or the colour scheme's about right. Love that colour scheme. Big bridge. Yeah, I mean, I got the vibe. It was pretty darn close. So I got the nice feels. But let's compare, though. We did get one wide of our version, and these are the 3 widest views from the show of the bridge from Raven versus a full wide.
You can see all the similarities there. The shape of the L cars panels on the side. You got the horseshoe main center console, and then the big MSD screen at the back. So they're all kind of covered. Yeah. So they're all kind of covered there, and yeah, there you go.
There's only 3 elements to the bridge, and they nailed all 3. Oh, and I didn't notice in the watching it, but those two side chairs on the side of the bridge, those are the Excelsior chairs that end up being on every other ship, which is great because when we model interiors, you notice how often we can just reuse them. Because chairs, they're reusable. So that's a nice touch because those are like the most famous Trek chairs. But it is a very basic bridge, actually very big for the size of the ship, relative to what they need necessarily. But, you know, cargo ship. Originally, I was wondering if it was some level of redress of, like, the Excelsior, because of the back piece has the MSD and the two doors, which is what the B had. But there aren't any... I mean, the whole rest of the bridge is different. So it must be just a fresh set. They just moved in movable side consoles, and then the horseshoe's different to Equinox. It can't be that one, so that must be a custom piece. I mean, it's not complicated, but I feel like it must have been a good amount of custom stuff, which is good.
I never noticed before, but on the MSD you got 5 decks there, so 5 decks ship is not that big, but considering it was just this family on this ship as well, so run by that many people.
And you definitely got the sense it was more than they could handle to be peak operation. They could just about do it, but really should have more people, etc. But then the other view, obviously, is with actually being on, even got the color scheme right, which vibes nice.
Say. Once they threw the lights on, the color scheme is about right, so that's good.
Like I say, it just vibes so close. I would have loved to see an MSD at the back, because that is such a popping detail. No problem, don't worry. But that would have been really cool. And then last shot, of course, which is funny, it is literally a blink and then it's gone shot. It's when they're starting to sword fight. The view screen, which is, of course, Battle Bridge view screen piece. Good job, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, there it looks like just the views, like on the outside of the ship, we saw the hole above the mess hall, which it was in a regular shape.
And not just that, but it looks like a window because you can see the edge of the view screen piece. But of course, that's not. It's a view screen, so there's a screen and there's hull. This is not that. This implies there's just a flat wall on the outside of the ship, which is actually a thin view screen. Which is also shattered, I guess?
That being said, though, it does at least kind of match the one from the show. At least the bottom part kind of has a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Top part is missing, but it's...
Stylistically, it's there.
Well, there you have it. The Raven class, shown in Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 4, or something borrowed, something green. Anyway, also the home of Annika Hansen and her parents for a while. So,
well, and hopefully this adds another ship to their resume of the Excelsior and Voyager and ship class we can hope to see in the background of fleet shots later on. Because each time they build a ship, it's there to be used again. Hopefully, because that's what the old shows did, and they came in great guns. Like that end shot of Voyager, like that fleet is there because they kept building ships throughout other shows, and then you get this great fleet shot. So hopefully we'll see it again. All
right, so there you go. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon, and join us for lives and things like that. We love seeing you guys and talking to you, so come and join us.
And if you want to support what we do here on the Trekyards channel and the Trekyards lifestyle, then support us monthly via Patreon. It's monthly, or Trekyards, yes, on YouTube, yes. Also monthly, or one-time donations at PayPal. So many P's, I keep saying that, so many P's. Trekyards@hotmail.com is the PayPal, or super chat on a live, or super thanks on a video, or buy a shirt, or post us some money in a little wallet. Post us your wallet. There you go.
Even just sharing our videos will help.
All that is less effort. I'll give you that. Yeah.
And just keep watching that as well.
Also less effort. Yeah.
Anyway, so until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
Bye, guys. Bye.